Once upon a time, about 2,500 years ago in India, there was a guy named Siddhartha. He was born into a royal family, a wealthy one to say the least. He lived the life of luxury and ease. One day he left his royal enclosure and ventured out into the world for the first time. He quickly ran into an old dead man and became disturbed. This led him to become a monk. He decided to lead his life through what he called the middle way, a life without poverty but without luxury. On his adventures, he came across a tree. He said he meditated for so long under that he discovered enlightenment. He taught his findings to people. They started to follow the path themselves and eventually created a religion. It became such a practiced religion that over 400 million people have dedicated their life to it. People called him the Buddha for his teachings. The belief of Buddhism is not to worship a god, but more like focusing on oneself and finding peace. They followed the path of Buddha once took, with a goal of reaching a state of nirvana, or perfect peace and happiness. This is achieved by doing the 1,000 Day Challenge, which consists of doing a marathon run to visit the different shrines. Buddhism has various themes, titles, or concepts. These include three marks of existence, the Four Noble Truths, the five skandhas, the six realms, the Eightfold Path, and the goal.
The three marks of existence explains how Buddhists view the world. The Four Noble Truths explains how the four main teachings of Buddha after his enlightenment. The five skandhas is the way Buddhists view themselves as consciousness. It also explains about the meaning of ego in the Buddhist perspective, which is quite different from our perspective of ego. The six realms talk about why things happen. It explains about anger as being one realm. It also explains about a human realm, an animal realm, etc. The Eightfold Path is about a path of liberation from the Buddhist point of view. It's called the Eightfold Path because it has 8 points to it. The last concept is the goal. The goal from the Buddhist point of view is to live in simplicity and to be free from all suffering that exists. There are three types of Buddhism. The first one is Theravada Buddhism, which is mostly found on Thailand, Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Laos, and Burma. The second one is Mahayana Buddhism, which is mostly found in China, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, Singapore, and Thailand. The third and last type of Buddhism is Tibetan Buddhism. This type of Buddhism is mostly found in Tibet, Nepal, Mongolia, Bhutan, and in some parts of Russia and northern India. Buddha's teachings are known as Dharma. Buddha taught how to live life with kindness, wisdom, patience, and compassion. These were important virtues that every Buddhist should have. Buddhists live their lives according to the five moral precepts. These prohibit killing living things, taking what is not given, sexual misconduct, lying, and using drugs or alcohol. Buddhists have many sacred texts or writing. The first sacred text is the Tipikata, or the Three Baskets. This thought to be the earliest Buddhist text or writings. The second one is the Sutras. There are more than 2,000 sutras, and they are used by the Mahayana Buddhists. The third and most important text is the Book of the Dead. This text explains in detail the stages of death.
Buddhism is having some hard times as a religion because it is not yet unified, so there is a lot of disagreement on what the practice really is. They still agree that one of the most important parts of Buddhism is that in order to be enlightened, you must find truth within yourself. Buddhism has a very rich history, but it is not exactly recorded. It has always been that strength in oneself is the way to live. They don't have to listen to other people's rule or believe in someone else. The main reason it's dying off is because in the modern world, you need to adapt. Christianity is your own.